Welcome back to our channel, where the shadows of Genoa City always hold the juiciest secrets. Today is a thrilling day to dive deep into the hidden corners of the Newman estate. Pull up a chair, lean in close, and let us whisper the untold truths of your favorite daytime drama. We are just as addicted to the show as you are, and what we are about to reveal will leave you absolutely breathless. Did you know that the most terrifying secrets of the Newman family are currently locked away in the dimly lit training area of the Newman Ranch? Come closer, because what is happening behind those closed, heavy doors is a psychological thriller that we simply cannot stop obsessing over. Victor Newman, the ruthless patriarch, who always gets his men, has finally managed to capture the elusive and highly dangerous Matt Clark. But he did not do it alone, and the method of capture is a dark secret all on its own. With the unpredictable and highly volatile assistance of Patty Williams, Victor has successfully ensnared the monster who has been terrorizing his family. Matt is now a prisoner on Newman property, held captive in the sprawling gym area where the family usually goes to blow off steam. But today, that room is not for exercise. It is a makeshift interrogation chamber, and the tension is so thick you could cut it with a knife. Something that few people notice is the sheer, terrifying irony of Victor Newman aligning with Patty Williams to catch Matt Clark. Patty, a woman whose own mind has been a labyrinth of delusions and violent obsessions, became the ultimate weapon to capture a man whose mind is currently completely blank. We are absolutely addicted to this twisted poetry. Matt, who secretly married Patty years ago under an alias, thought he could outsmart her, thought he could walk away from her protection and navigate his escape alone. But he underestimated the vindictive nature of a scorned Patty Williams. She led Victor right to him, closing the trap with a resounding snap. Now, Matt sits in the Newman training area, stripped of his freedom, completely at the mercy of a family that wants nothing more than to see him erased from the face of the earth. And this is the part that kept me awake at night. Nick Newman, the golden boy of Genoa City, is currently fighting a war on two fronts, and his physical deterioration is horrifying to witness. As we all know, Nick has been spiraling into a severe, life-threatening fentanyl addiction. He recently collapsed, his body failing him after ingesting a tainted batch of drugs that Matt Clark intentionally left for him to find in Las Vegas. Nick was unconscious, hovering on the brink of death, his heart struggling to keep beating. Yet, despite this catastrophic medical emergency, despite the fact that his body is screaming for rest and rehabilitation, Nick's burning desire for vengeance has pulled him out of his sickbed. Have you ever wondered what it takes for a man to push past the agonizing, bone-deep pain of opioid withdrawal? For Nick, the answer is pure, unadulterated hatred for Matt Clark. Let me share a secret with you about the moment Nick slowly descends the stairs into that training area. You can almost feel the cool concrete beneath his feet and hear the heavy, echoing thud of the door locking behind him. Nick is sweating, his hands trembling not just from the lingering effects of the fentanyl withdrawal, but from the overwhelming surge of adrenaline coursing through his veins. He has waited for this moment for what feels like an eternity. He wants to unleash his absolute fury, to rain down a storm of vengeance upon the man who nearly killed him, who tormented Sharon Newman, who trapped Noah Newman, and who blew up a gas station in a sick, twisted game of life and death. Nick steps into that room ready to become the executioner, ready to make Matt feel every ounce of the agony his family has endured. But let me whisper another little secret to you, something that makes this entire encounter so incredibly tragic and bizarre. When Nick finally stands face to face with his greatest demon, he does not find the smug, calculating, arrogant monster he remembers. Instead, he finds a man with a blank, hollow stare. Matt Clark looks up at Nick with genuine confusion, his eyes devoid of the malicious spark that usually defines him. We, the addicted viewers who watch every private moment of these characters' lives, know the absolute truth. Matt Clark really, truly has amnesia. He is not faking it. The severe head trauma he sustained when Sienna Bacall desperately struck him with a rock in the desert actually wiped his slate clean. Matt does not remember his past. He does not remember the explosion. He does not remember the torture. He does not even remember who he is. Did you catch the subtle, almost imperceptible tremor in Nick's jaw as he begins his interrogation? Nick, naturally, refuses to believe a single word coming out of Matt's mouth. Can you blame him? Matt has faked, lied, manipulated, and orchestrated some of the most elaborate hoaxes in Genoa City history. Nick immediately assumes this amnesia is just another sick, twisted act in Matt's grand theatrical production of terror. Nick begins to grill him, administering a brutal, relentless amnesia test. He fires questions at Matt, detailing the horrific crimes, the kidnapping plots, the psychological warfare, waiting for Matt to slip up, waiting for a micro-expression that betrays the lie. Nick screams about the Las Vegas bunker, about the tainted drugs, about the fear in Sharon's eyes. He wants Matt to confess, to drop the act, to smirk the way he always does. But here is the twist that absolutely consumes my thoughts, the narrative pivot that proves why we are also hopelessly addicted to the show. Matt does not slip up because there is no lie to uncover. As Nick violently recounts the horrors, you can see a terrifying realization washing over Matt's bruised and battered face. He is listening to the story of a monster, a sadistic abuser, a cold-blooded killer, and he is slowly, agonizingly realizing that Nick is talking about him. Imagine the profound, chilling horror of waking up with no memory, only to have a furious, grieving man stand over you and list the atrocities you have committed. Matt begins to accept that Nick is telling the truth. He looks at the raw, unfiltered pain in Nick's eyes, the desperation of a father and a protector, and Matt accepts that he is the villain of this story, even if his own brain refuses to supply the memories. And this is the moment that sends shivers down my spine. Matt Clark, the boogeyman of Genoa City, actually apologizes. He looks at Nick Newman, his voice cracking, his demeanor entirely stripped of its usual bravado, and he shows genuine, heartbreaking remorse. He tells Nick that he is sorry. He expresses a profound disgust for the actions described to him. He understands why the entire Newman family harbors such a deep, venomous hatred for him. Matt's apology is not a calculated maneuver to gain sympathy. It is the raw, vulnerable reaction of a man who is terrified of his own shadow, horrified by the legacy of pain he has apparently left in his wake. To see Matt Clark express genuine contrition is a sight so rare, so surreal, that it completely changes the atmospheric pressure in the room. Something that few people notice is the profound cognitive dissonance playing out across Nick Newman's face in this exact moment. Nick is standing there, his body aching, his mind clouded by the lingering fog of his addiction, fully prepared to physically destroy this man. But how do you punish a ghost? How do you exact vengeance on a man who does not even remember committing the crime? Matt's sincere apology catches Nick completely off guard. For a split second, you can see the hesitation in Nick's eyes, but then the paranoia sets in. Nick's brain, hardened by years of trauma, immediately categorizes this remorse as the ultimate, most sophisticated trick Matt has ever pulled. Nick convinces himself that Matt is just playing the long game, using this fake amnesia and fake remorse to lower Nick's guard before striking again. Let us look back at the dark, bloodstained history of Matt Clark, and you will understand exactly why Nick is right to be so unyielding. Have you ever wondered how much trauma one family can endure? Matt terrorized Sharon, inflicting deep psychological scars that she still battles today. He orchestrated a fake kidnapping of Faith Newman, using Nick's profound love for his daughter as a weapon to lure him into a deadly trap. He chained Nick and Adam in a subterranean bunker, forcing them to confront their own mortality while a bomb ticked away. He provided the tainted fentanyl that stopped Nick's heart. These are not crimes that can be washed away by a convenient bump on the head. In Nick's mind, the ledger is written in blood, and the debt must be paid, regardless of whether Matt remembers incurring it. Did you know that the human mind, when pushed to the absolute brink of trauma and chemical dependency, struggles to process sudden shifts in reality? Nick is experiencing this firsthand. He approaches this new, remorseful version of Matt with an extreme, impenetrable skepticism. He tells Matt that his apologies are worthless. He tells him that a blank memory does not erase the screams of his victims. Nick stands his ground, projecting an aura of absolute authority, declaring that Matt will face justice, that he will pay for every single tear Sharon shed, for every moment of terror Noah endured, and for the near-fatal overdose that Nick himself suffered. Nick's refusal to forgive is not just about vengeance, it is about survival. He cannot afford to believe Matt, because believing Matt means letting his guard down, and letting his guard down around Matt Clark has always resulted in catastrophe. And this is the philosophical dilemma that kept me awake at night, staring at the ceiling and pondering the true nature of justice in Genoa City. If a man commits an atrocity, but loses all memory of it, is he still the same man? Does punishing the amnesiac serve justice, or is it merely inflicting pain on an empty vessel? Nick Newman does not care about philosophy. He cares about protecting his family. As he stands over the captive Matt in the training area, Nick makes a silent vow that this monster will never hurt anyone he loves ever again. The tension in the room remains unresolved, a heavy, suffocating blanket of dread that promises more violence, more secrets, and more heartbreak to come. Have you ever wondered what happens when the monster in the basement finally realizes he is a monster? Matt is left sitting in the dim light of the Newman gym, grappling with the horrifying truth of his own identity. He is a prisoner not just of Victor Newman's security team, but of his own horrific, forgotten past. He must sit with the knowledge that he is a villain, a terrorizer of women and children, a man who drove another man to the brink of a lethal drug addiction. The remorse he feels is genuine, but it is a solitary, agonizing remorse, because no one in that house will ever believe him. He is entirely alone, surrounded by enemies who want him dead, burdened by crimes he cannot recall. As we watch the storyline unfold, completely addicted to every whispered threat and every tear of false or true remorse, we have to ask ourselves, what comes next? How long can Victor keep Matt hidden away? How long before Nick's fentanyl addiction rears its ugly head again, compromising his ability to deal with this threat? And the most terrifying question of all, what happens when Matt Clark's memory inevitably returns? Because in Genoa City, secrets never stay buried, and amnesia never lasts forever. The ticking time bomb of Matt's mind is the most dangerous weapon currently sitting on the Newman ranch, and we will be watching, absolutely captivated, waiting for the explosion. Keep your eyes wide open because the shadows are shifting, and the biggest secrets are yet to be revealed.